I hope that you are well, and I also hope that you are having an amazing day so far. So, today we'll be doing our grade 7 English lesson on analogies. We will be doing our grade 7 English lesson on analogies. And before we start with our lesson on analogies, we are going to log into aplusstudents.ca. So we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password. Once we've logged in with our username as well as our password, and then we can select the subject of language arts. And then grade 7. Then we're choosing grade 7. All right, so once we have selected the subject of language arts, grade 7, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of analogies. And we're going to find out what analogies is. And there's basically going to be two lessons that we are going to focus on under the chapter analogies. So our chapter is analogies. Our subject is English, which is language arts. Grade 7. And the lessons that we are focusing on is analogies set 1 and analogies set 2. Right? So that is going to be our lessons that we are going to focus on under the chapter of analogies. And we are doing our lesson on aplusstudents.ca. So today's lesson is on aplusstudents.ca. So if you do want to go back, recap and go over go over the chapter, and then you can go to aplusstudents.ca. All right. Okay. So now we're going to start with our lesson on analogy, right? And we said analogies, right? We said we're doing set 1 as well as set 2, sorry. An analogy shows the relationship between two pairs of words, right? So it's a relationship between two pairs of words. And an example of analogies are finger is to hand, right? It's almost like things that are kind of similar. So finger is to hand, so which means finger is to hand, as petals is to flower, which means that we have fingers on our hands and petals on flowers. So finger is part of the hand and petals are part of the flower. The same like we would say maybe we can maybe say toe is to foot, right? Which means that your toe is part of your foot. So that shows that is analogies, which shows the relationship between the two pairs of words, right? Which is like finger and hand, because finger is part of the hand, petal and flower, because petals are part of the flower, toe, toe and foot, because toe is part of the foot. Branches to trees, because the branch is part of the tree, right? So those are analogies. It is like two pairs of words. It's a relationship which shows the relationship between two pairs of words. So if we look at this picture in front of us, right, of analogies, it says part of a whole, right? Then we have finger is to hand because finger is part of the hand. Toe is to foot because toe is part of the foot. Right? So that shows the relationship between that two. And they're saying that is part of a whole or part to a whole. One toe is part of a whole foot. Milk is to cow, right? So we get milk from the cows. So the relationship between the milk and the cow is that we get milk from the cow. Cow produces the milk, right? And then we have wool to sheep. So the wool is part of the sheep. We get our wool from the sheep. And that is products to things. That is products that we specifically get from animals or things, right? Then we have characteristics. Characteristics, right? That's now where we are maybe describing certain colors to objects or things, right? For example, red apple. Because we'll usually say it says red as an apple, right? Green like grass, blue like the sky. So it's like you are comparing certain colors to different things. Then we have synonyms and antonyms. It's like where either some things are similar or some things are opposite. Same in meaning or it's opposite. So pretty and cute, it's the same, right? You can either say someone is pretty or someone is, oh, you're so cute. Or if I'm mad, it's the same as me being angry. So mad and angry, it's like you're associating the two words because it is kind of or similarly the same. And then antonyms, which is opposites, right? Especially if you think of, can either be weather, right? In the form of a beverage or something. Hot, if something is not hot, it is cold. If something is not cold, it is hot. That is opposites in meaning. Pretty or ugly. It's either you are pretty or you are ugly. And we'll rather put that in the form of manners and not appearance. And then functions to things, right? Like, for example, if we compare, not even compare, if we show the relationship between a stove and cooking, right? We cook on a stove, right? So we use a stove to cook, ice to freeze, right? In order for us to get ice, we need to freeze water. So these are analogies, and we said analogies, it shows the relationship between two pairs of words. Things that are more similar, or things that you can compare. All right. So now we're going to our tutorial lesson on aplusstudents.ca. And we're going to the first one, which is analogies set 1. So we said analogies, it shows the relationship between two pairs of words, right? It shows the relationship between two pairs of words. For example, we said finger is to hand as petal is to flower, which means that the finger is part of the hand and petals are part of the flower, right? And if we look at certain common analogies, right? We look at more common analogies or relationships, things that are the same, similar, right? If someone is nice, right, we can also say that the person is kind. It's like saying, oh, you are so kind, you are so nice, right? Because nice and kind, they are similar. Then we have antonyms, which is the opposites. For example, it's either you are awake or you asleep. It's opposites. Either awake or you are asleep. Then we have degrees, right? Which is cool, is like cold, but less extreme. Cause and effect. A joke tends to cause laughter. So if you make a joke and then someone will end up laughing, right? Because that is what jokes usually cause. They tend to cause laughter. Part and whole. And we said a finger is part of a hand. One finger is part of a whole hand. One toe is part of a whole foot. One petal is part of a whole flower. Items and categories. A cat is a kind of animal. A dog is a kind of animal. And then we have items and purpose. The purpose of a pen is to write. So, what is the relationship between pen and write? The purpose of the pen is to write. That is the relationship between them. If we look at the worker and a tool, right? An artist uses a paintbrush as a tool. So if you're an artist, then the relationship between an artist and its painting is even the tools that it uses, which is paintbrushes, canvases, and then worker and product. A writer is a person who creates a book, articles, right? That is what writers do. All right, so now if we look at the analogy, right on top, we said a car, the relationship between these two words, let's say car, is to drive, right? Because if you have a car, the whole purpose of the car is to get in and drive. Nowadays, we have electric cars, which means that these smart electric cars, they drive on their own without a driver. But the relationship between the car is to drive. That is the purpose of a car. And a crane, if you look at the word crane, what does a crane do? What is the purpose of a crane? We say the purpose of a car is to drive. But what is the purpose of a crane? Especially during construction things, when they're building, right? Which means that the purpose of a crane is to lift things. Because a crane lifts things. Yes, beautiful. A crane lifts. So that is the purpose of a crane. The purpose of a car is to drive, and the purpose of a crane is to lift. So that is the relationship between a crane and its purpose is to lift. All right. Germ, right? Germ is to disease, right? To germs, it causes diseases, right? Of course, we have germs everywhere, right? But most germs, it causes disease. Whereas a bomb, what does a bomb cause? A bomb causes what? If germs causes disease, then a bomb causes, or bomb is to, what do we use a bomb for? So basically a bomb we can use as a form of explosion, right? So with a bomb, there would be explosion. So with bomb, there can be explosion. Because if germs causes disease, and it means that if a bomb goes off, it causes explosion. Right? So bomb causes explosion. Top is to bottom. It's like the opposites, right? So the opposite, which is the antonyms. Top is to bottom. It's not in top, it's at the bottom. This is the opposites, right? The same as if something is not right, it's not on the right, then what is the opposite of right? What is the opposite of right? Not wrong, it is left. Yes, it is left. Well done. So we say top is to bottom, which means that the relationship between the top is that the opposite is bottom. And the relationship between right is that the opposite of right is left. Right? All right, let's do two more examples. So sleepy, right? If I'm sleepy, another word similar to sleepy, right, is that I am exhausted. I am tired, right? If you're feeling sleepy, it means that you're exhausted. You are tired, right? And old, if you are old, what does that mean? Similar to old. What is a word similar to old? All right, ancient, good. Because if something is very old, it is basically ancient, right? It's an old thing. Something is very old, we can even say it is ancient. Yes, we can maybe say it is ancient. So old, it means that it is ancient. It is like very old, right? And we say that the opposite of old is young, yes, but ancient. We are talking specifically about the synonyms, right? So a firefighter is to hose, which means that the firefighters, right, uses a hose in order to distinguish or extinguish, sorry, the the fire, right? Whereas a builder, what is a builder is to what? What does builders use? If a firefighter uses a whole hose to to put out the fires, right? Then what does a builder use? Builders use what? Builder. Firefighter is the hose. A builder is to hammer. Yes, which means that these are the specific tools that they use. So the builder is to hammer because these are the tools that they use, right? So firefighters, they use a hose, right? The tools that they use is a hose to put out the fire. And then builders, they use hammers, right? You either need to use a hammer to, put the nail through the wall or something. And then a page is to book, right? Whereas a tree is to what? Page is to book, and a tree is to what? So if a page, we find pages in a book, a tree is to what? So basically, a tree, yes, we will find a tree is to forest. Because if we find pages in a book, then it means that a tree you will basically find in a forest, right? You cannot say a tree in a garden because a garden is something small. We find pretty flowers in a garden, but trees we mainly find in the forest. Yes, so well done. Hold on. All right, so let's go and do a test, right? We're going to complete the analogy. If lightning is to thunder, right? Then fire is to what? Is it smoke or storm? Lightning is to fire. Lightning is to thunder, sorry. Fire is it smoke or storm? All right, so if lightning is to thunder, then definitely there is fire, there is smoke. Yes, so well done. Well done. If cure is to heal, if we find a cure for something, it means we are healing someone, right? Buy is to, do we purchase something or store? So what is the same as buying? The same as curing is to heal. Then to buy is the same as to purchase something, or is buy the same as store? All right, so cure is basically the same as healing, just as buy is the same as to purchase. If I purchase something, it means that I'm buying something. Yes, so well done. Good job. If huge is the same as being a giant, right? Fast is the same as, is it slow or quick? If huge is the same as giant, then fast, is it too slow or is it too quick? Yeah, so which means that fast is too quick. So well done. Fast is too quick. Good job. If we have wheels on a car, right, then we have a nose on our face, or do we use a nose for smelling? Or we have a nose on a smell? So if we have wheels on a car, then we have a nose on our face or nose on our smell. Which one is correct? Wheels is to car, nose is to face, or nose is to smell. All right. So basically, if we have wheels on a car, then it means that we also have a nose on our face, right? Because we use the nose to smell. So good job. And then we said baker, right? A baker bakes cakes. And a carpenter, what does he do? Wood or cabinets? Does he make cabinets or he makes wood? So baker basically bakes cakes, and the carpenter, do we say it is to woods or to cabinets? What does he make? What is his profession? Not even his profession. What is the things that he makes? Yeah, so basically carpenter, yes, he uses woods, but he makes the cabinets. So well done, cabinets is correct. So one more. If cakes is to dessert, right? So cake is a dessert, right? Throne is to bed or throne is to chair. If cake is dessert, right? If cake is dessert, then throne is to bed or to chair. Let's try chair. And chair is correct. Well done. All right, so that is basically our first set of analogies, right? So now we're going on to our second set of analogies. And remember, we said analogies it shows the relationship between two pairs of words, right? And so far we have been making, let's say, the differences, similarities, or even the opposites of certain words, right? We even showed either the tools that is being used, the degrees or cause or effect of certain analogies. And if we now look at, let's say, basically more analogies, right? Because that is basically what set two is. Set one was basically us going over certain analogies, and now set two is basically just a continuation of more analogies, right? So we have diphtheria, right, is a disease. Diphtheria is a disease. Just as chicken is to where or what? Where do we find chickens, right? So diphtheria is to disease. It's basically a disease. What about chickens? Where do we even find chickens? So chickens is to what is chickens? So we basically find chickens on a farm, right? So we basically find the chickens on a farm. So diphtheria is to disease, just as we can see. Okay, chickens are the farm, but chickens is to poultry. Sorry. So poultry is the correct one, right? Because poultry, it is basically, if we even look at the different types of farming, right? Poultry farming includes chickens. So poultry was actually the correct one. Okay, so rain, right? The rain. If a rain is to guide, and this rain, remember we have different forms of rains, or different types of rains, or different wording of rains. So we have rain and we have rain. So this rain is basically your droplets of water that comes from the sky or comes from the clouds, right? And this rain is the strings on a horse to guide you, right? So it's the strings on the horse to basically guide you or guide the horse, basically. So rain is to guide. We use the reins to guide basically a horse. What do we use the brakes for? What is the brakes on a car or bicycle for? What are the brakes used for? If reins are used to guide, for example, the horse, then what are or is brakes used for? All right, so then we can say brakes are used to stop, right? So if I either step on the brake, press the brake, or something, it means to stop. Yes, so well done. Yes, it is to stop. So well done, right? No, sorry. Where are we now? Where are we? Oh, so if uncertainty is like hesitation, right? Then error is what? Uncertainty, meaning I'm not sure, right? And then we have hesitation. Just as error is to, let me go down, error, it causes regret. So uncertainty causes hesitation. So uncertainty causes hesitation, just as error causes regret. So usually if you make an error, right? Errors, they cause regret. Just like if you are not sure, you're uncertain, then it causes hesitation. All right, let's go to our test. If rain is to guide, right, then we said brakes are used to stop or it's used to speed. Reins are used to guide, then the brakes is used to stop or the brakes is used to speed. What are the brakes used for? To stop or to speed? Yeah, so brakes are basically used to stop. So well done. Ugly is too hideous, right? So usually they'll say if you look ugly, then you look hideous. If you're humorous, right? What is similar to humorous? Is it hilarious or strange? So if ugly is the same as hideous, humorous is the same as hilarious, or is it the same as strange? Yes, which means that hilarious is the same as humorous. Humorous is the same as hilarious. So beautiful. Kerosene is to fuel. Kerosene is like a type of fuel, or wheat is a loaf, or is it a grain? Wheat is a loaf, or is it a grain? just as kerosene is a type of fuel. Wheat is a type of grain, or it is a type of loaf. All right, so we can say wheat is basically a type of grain. And we make the loaf of bread with that wheat and grains. Moist, right? Moist, similar to it being drenched. The same as pretty, right? If you're pretty, are you gorgeous or are you nice? Pretty is the same as gorgeous or nice. All right, so if moist is the same as being drenched, then we can say being pretty is the same as you are gorgeous, right? You're gorgeous, beautiful. Pillar, right, is one of the columns, right? And then we have bush. Bush is to shrub, or it's the same as, or you'll find it more with the trees. So pillars are usually in columns. Bushes are in forms of, is it shrub or tree? Shrub. Let's choose shrub. And shrub is correct. All right, let's do the last one. Artificial, right? If something is not artificial, it is genuine. Or it's not flavorful. Is it savory or is it bland? Something is not artificial, it is genuine. It's like the opposite. And then if it's not flavorful, is it savory or is it bland? All right, so if the opposite is artificial is genuine, right? It's like fake and genuine, right? The opposite of flavorful. If it's not flavorful, no spice, right? Then it is bland. Wonderful, beautiful. Last one. Freeze is to thaw or thaw, as lose is to win or to compete. So freeze is to thaw, as lose is to, do we say lose is to win, or do we say lose is to compete? And yes, we can say lose is to, you lose some, you win some. Good job. Well done. All right. So we said basically the analogies are basically, it shows the relationship between two words, can either be in a form of synonyms, antonyms, tools, degrees, right? Those are analogies, right? It shows the relationship between two words or two things, right? So this is now the end of our lesson, grade sevens. Thank you very much for joining the class. Thank you very much for the answers and for interacting. And I really hope that you're going to have an amazing day further. Goodbye.